Changing your life is a change in the inner game. Ultimately, if you're going to have lasting change in anything, you're really talking about just raising your standards. I mean, I always tell people, if you want to know how to change your life, I give it to you in 3 words, boring as it sounds: raise your standards. Lasting change is different than a goal. You don't always get your goals, but you always get your standards. Everybody in life gets their musts. They don't get their shoulds. Most people have a list of shoulds, don't they? Don't you have a list of the shoulds, things you should do, you should follow through on? I should lose some weight, I should work out more, I should make more calls, I should respond more rapidly to my email, whatever. You know, whatever your should list is, people love to have their should list be met, but it's kind of like New Year's resolutions. If it does, it's really exciting, but if it doesn't, which is most of the time, it's a little disappointing, but you kind of know it's not going to happen. But when you decide something is a must for you, an absolute must, when you cut off any possible, you say, I'm going to find the way or I'm going to make the way. Human beings, when they resolve things, when they make a real resolution inside themselves, which is they raise the standard, they make it a must, they find the way. Haven't you had some area of your life where you raise your standard and your life has never been the same? Maybe at one time in your life you smoked cigarettes, or you did something and you did it for years and you kept trying to change it, you kept telling yourself, I should. And then one day something happened. Something just clicked you over. Something took you over that kind of tipping point. And inside yourself you said, no more. It was a very, very different experience, wasn't it? Something inside you shifted. And what was a should became a must, and you've never gone back. Because somewhere when we make this click, when we make something a must, we attach ourselves to it. It becomes part of our identity. Most people, if they really look at how they're living their life today, it's based on a set of standards, a set of beliefs that they made choices about 10, 20, 30 or more years ago. I mean, very often we made decisions in our youth or very young about what to believe, about what we were capable of, about who we are as a person, and that becomes the glass ceiling, if you will, that controls us. Take a look at any place you've got a limitation and ask yourself, when did I decide to accept that limitation? And you may not even see it as a limitation. You might see it as just, that's who I am. But so often in our lives, we've adapted to be a certain way so that we don't fail or so that people will like us or respect us, but it's not necessarily who we are. Joy comes when you're spontaneous. It's really hard to be truly happy when you're not being yourself. And most of us have no clue who we are. And so a big part of my work, if you've ever been to an event, you know, is to get people to do things spontaneously without thinking, because that's when the real you shows up. That's when the energy comes alive. And when you do that, when you start to connect to your true nature, suddenly there's energy available for you to set a higher standard for what you want in your life. So the secret to real happiness is progress. Progress equals happiness. And if we can make progress on a regular basis, we feel alive. And that's why at the beginning of the year, we get this thing like, okay, I can have this fresh start. I could really do what my soul desires. I could expand. I could grow. I could improve. I could change. Or maybe better than change, I could progress. You got to say, I got to take control of this process and not just hope it's going to work out like people do who make a resolution. Think about that. Progress is an aliveness to it, doesn't it? You don't have to work at changing. People say all the time now, well, I'm working on changing. Don't worry about it. You don't have to work on changing. Change is automatic. Your body's going to change whether you want it or not as the years go by. And no matter how hard you work, there's going to be some changes going on there. The economy is going to change no matter what you want it to do. The weather is going to change. Relationships are going to change. Everything in life is always changing. We don't have to work on change. Change is automatic, but progress is not. So if you want to make real progress, then you really got to look at your life in a different way. But one of the most important decisions you make in business is, ultimately, if I was going to sell this, if I chose to, I have to know what I sell this to so that I have long-term value, not just an income along the way. I have this critical mass hit. I get a multiple of my business. And most people don't have a clear exit strategy. They think I'll come up with that someday. You got to start with that end in mind. That's got to be part of your focus if you're going to be successful in your business. Whenever people fail to achieve their goals, 99.9% of the time, you ask them why, they'll tell you it's because of a lack of resources. That's what all these things are. I didn't have the support, right? I didn't have the money. We didn't have the time. We didn't have this. We didn't have that. There's a resource that people believe is missing. And that resource belief structure then keeps people from ever being able to really lead. Because what leaders do is they find a way to maximize whatever resources they have, as little as they may be, and they don't believe in limited resources. Resources are interesting, but the ultimate resources are the feelings of emotion that make you resourceful. Success and failure are not giant events. They don't just show up. You don't just suddenly become successful or suddenly have this cataclysmic event that makes you fail. It may look that way, but failure comes from all the little things. It's failure to make the call. It's failure to check the books. It's failure to say, I'm sorry. It's failure to push yourself to do things physically that you don't want to do. And all those little failures day after day come together until one day some cataclysmic event happens and you blame that. That event happened because you missed all the little stuff. Do you agree with me? And success, by the way, is not some overnight event. It's all these little things. Success is having a vision. Success is making it compelling. Success is really seeing it, feeling it every day with strong enough reasons. Success is feeling the sense that I'm here to grow and I'm here to give something to the world more than just myself. All the little stuff. That's where success comes from.
And when you decide what's most important to you, your brain goes after it. Clarity is power. You got to know the specific result you're after. What do you want? You can't answer that question right now in your personal life, in your body, in your relationships, in your finances, in your spirituality, and you're not going to be as fulfilled as you want to be. If you don't know exactly what you want, or you let yourself get beyond that to something general, you're not going to achieve it.
What are the rituals that have put me there? Because whatever results you're getting, even if you don't like the results, there's some rituals that are keeping you in that place. There's some rituals of what you eat or don't eat, how you move or don't move, how you sleep or don't sleep. There's some rituals in the lack of variety or spice or energy or focus in an area. Just write the truth of where you are. What do you want? What's your vision? And be really specific. I want to be my fighting weight. I want to be the strongest I've ever felt. I'm going to turn my, whatever it is, be specific. You don't just get a result without some kind of action, without some form of ritual. Ritual meaning actions you do consistently. What are the rituals that will get you there? What would you need to do differently each morning if you're going to be that kind of energy, that kind of strength? How often would you work out? What days would you work out? What time? A ritual is something you do consistently, usually at a specific time, so it becomes automatic. Willpower doesn't last, but rituals can last a lifetime. I bet you have some rituals in your life right now you've been doing for years, even though some of them don't serve you. I'm just saying, wake yourself up. You want a new year and a new life. You don't need to start on January 1st. Start today and just begin to see what happens and see how easy it is to just do a few little rituals. Don't do them all, just do 2 or 3 new things. And you know what happens? You'll get momentum. Because once you discipline yourself in one area of your life, you feel yourself doing it in other areas as well. There's always 2 pains in life. There's the pain of discipline, or there's the pain of regret. And discipline weighs ounces, as my friend Jim Rohn taught me. Regret weighs tons. You don't want to have regret. So right now, what do you want to change? What's it really like? What are the rituals that got you there? That'll take a little homework. If you're not sure, ask the people around you. They'll tell you what your rituals are. What do I really want in depth? What are the rituals that'll get me there? And then get yourself to start a few of those actions and lock them in place.
Here's what I've created for my life, and anyone I know succeeded. I'm a 17-year-old kid from Azusa, California, with no real education other than self-education, with no background, with no money, but I did one thing. I love people, and I had an enormous demand I made upon myself, and I sculpted my mind and my emotions to get me to do whatever it would take to achieve and to contribute. But to do that, I did it by using my body and changing my focus. I did it by putting myself in a peak physiology and using what I call incantations. So starting when I was 17, I started doing incantations, not affirmations. Affirmation, you go, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. What's the problem? You haven't changed your what? Physiology. If you don't change your physiology, you won't get anything. So an incantation is not only you speak it, but you embody what you're saying with all the intensity you can. And you do it with enough repetitions that it sticks in your head. Like It's a Small World, now the conversation in your head is always the same and it gives you what you want. So use your body and your voice. I will do something that I still do backstage and have done for 23 years. Because I don't hope I'm going to be in good state, I demand it. So I do an incantation using my whole body. I'd say, I now command my subconscious mind to direct me in helping as many people as possible life today to better their lives by giving me the strength, the emotion, the persuasion, the humor, the brevity, whatever it takes to show these people and get these people to change their lives now.
Human beings absolutely follow through on who they believe they are. If you define yourself as somebody who is really conservative, you're not going to be crazy and act nuts unless you're really drunk or something, and then you can say it's the alcohol, when it's really just you finally getting permission to be yourself. The alcohol is your excuse. If you're a really crazy person, you act crazy, outrageous, playful. You don't act conservative because it's not.
I choose to make changes and not excuses. I choose motivation over manipulation. I choose to excel and not compete. I choose self-esteem over self-pity. I choose to listen to the voice from within versus the voices from without. I choose to fulfill my destiny. I choose to get the job done. I choose to finish what I started. No fear, no hesitation, no surprise, no doubt. Free yourself from the debilitating disease of fear. It has manipulated you long enough. It has tranquilized your faith. The fear of inadequacy, the fear of uncertainty, the fear of failure, the fear of not finishing, the fear of rejection, the fear of missing out, the fear of change, the fear of losing control, the fear of being judged, the fear of not being liked, the fear of something bad or traumatic happening, the fear of getting hurt. Many of these fears have left us in a state of paralysis, unable to move forward, unable to achieve. The time is now. Once you conquer fear with faith and love, there will be no hesitation, there will be no surprises, and there will be no doubt. In the face of adversity, you will be certain that in the end, you win. Anyone can give up. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. But to hold it together when everyone else would understand if you fell apart, that is true strength. If you're going to stay in it, if you're going to win this fight, if you're going to overcome this enemy against all odds, you're going to have to believe. You're going to need courage. You're going to need grit. You're going to need faith. Your courage must exceed the common sense of man. No man is free who cannot discipline himself. You will never have your destiny. You will never be able to afford your future unless you are disciplined. If you're going to fulfill your purpose, you will suffer the pain of persecution. Not everyone will understand why you are staying in the fight. But if your vision is locked in, you will attain that which you seek. To win any battle, you must fight as if you are already dead. Our lives are so short. There is no time to waste. The approach to combat and everyday life should be the same. We lose in life because we fail to take it seriously. We think it is a game, when in reality, it is warfare. And you will either suffer the pain of regret or the pain of discipline. When a soldier enters into battle, the soldier is focused, disciplined, innovative, creative, and purposeful. If we will approach our everyday lives like a trained and dedicated soldier approaches battle, we will win and not just exist. Everything you do must have meaning. You must focus and practice discipline in every moment for every task. You must discipline your thinking. You must discipline your conversation. You must establish your goals and accomplish them. You must use strategy to create the best outcomes. Every thought, every word, every action has a specific purpose. You must master the day. You must approach your life like a trained and skilled soldier approaches warfare. Life is not a game. This will not be easy, but in the end, you will win. Fight like a dead man, like you're dead to your insecurities, like you're dead to your vulnerabilities, like you're dead to the pain of the past. Fight like a dead man. When a man fights like he's already dead, he's desperate, he's dangerous, he's disciplined. Fight for your life. Claw your way into your future. Fight for your goal. Give it everything you have because you have nothing to lose. To have an underdog mentality, like everybody's already counted you out, like everybody's already told you you don't have what it takes, you don't measure up, that what you started you will not finish. When you fight as if you are already dead, you are without restraint. You are a disruptor. You break all the rules because you have nothing to lose. You are desperate for resurrection, and you will do anything that is required to accomplish the goal you are setting out to achieve. I choose to live by choice, not by chance. I live life by design and not by default. I am conscious. I am aware. I have been awakened. I am disciplined. I am detailed. I am meticulous. I am articulate. I am aggressive and intentional and assertive. I design my life. I refuse to whine and whimper over lemons. When life throws me lemons, I build a lemonade stand. I will learn from my mistakes. Every day, I live my life by design and not by default. Every day, my passion is reignited. Success is my obsession. I establish my boundaries. I pray and meditate. I speak my desires.
How to be good, how to be fit, how to protect your body is not the quantity, it's the quality.
He was already arguably Portugal's most potent attacking weapon.
I dedicate myself and I'm working hard, and this is why the goals and all the achievements that I get coming from dedication and hard work.
You really want to leave everything on the field.
Because I think the main point is the mind. To feel motivated, it helps a lot, so I still feel motivated.
And that's exactly what we saw.
We're going to play in Ronaldo. It is Ronaldo. It's 2-1 United. Oh my goodness. Restored to this great gallery of the game. A walking work of art. Beats up later. Ronaldo! Vintage. Beyond valuation. Beyond forgery or imitation. The theatre lives its dream. It's fantasy hero retreads the ball. 18 years since that trembling teenager of touch and tease.
Cristiano on his right. Cristiano! The drought is over.
First tiptoed onto this storied stage. Now in his immaculate maturity. CR7.
The numbers don't lie. If you do in the last 15 years, my level is always kind of the same. Effort, education, work hard, couldn't help. It's not enough.
This is why I say I like to lead by example.
And if you're not dedicated 100%, you're not going to reach the level that you want.
It's wrapped in your capacity, your ability to believe in a dream, even if nobody believes in you.
It's time to commit to focusing on you.
We become what we think about most of the time. And that's the strangest secret. This is why thinking is so vital. This is why a goal is so important. Because we will become that. This is why people who set goals achieve them. The trouble with men is not achieving their goals. They do that. It's establishing them.
So why do the hard thing? I mean, after all, if we have food on the table, a roof over our head, why go out of our way to make life more difficult than it has to be? I'm reminded of a quote that says, when we're in love, we learn about who we want to be. But when we're in war, we learn about who we actually are.
I am going to make it. This is my comeback story.
Strength, leadership, power, authority, guidance, patience are God's gift to us as men.
Hundreds of people give up on their goals on a daily basis. And it's usually because they realized quickly after starting their journeys, they're alone. Nobody's waking them up in the morning. Nobody's pushing them when they start to make excuses. And nobody's patting them on the back when they hit a milestone. Stop relying on outside sources of inspiration, motivation, and support to can get you there. Put your goddamn head down and take charge of your fucking life.
It takes faith to step into your purpose. It takes faith to step into your destiny. It takes faith to pull away from everything that is familiar, to step into uncharted territory, to become the person you were born to be. It takes faith.
I know what it's like, and I know what it's like to tell yourself, hey, I'm going to start on Monday, and then for the next 5 days, you gorge yourself, or you're extra lazy, or you treat yourself extra much because you know you're going to do it this time, and this time I'm serious, and this time I'm for real, and I'm going to get it done. Except you're not, and you know you're not. And if you really wanted to change, and if you really want to make a change, and you really want to be different, and you really want it to be this time, start f***ing now.
To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did.
If every time you go to better yourself, somebody hits you with a line like, why would you want to do that? You need to find another social circle.
If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. Figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit.
We did not come this far to just break down and lose now. I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
Are you addicted? Yes, I am. I'm addicted to this.
Day by day, we're getting old. Everyone of us. When the time is normal, you have to adapt.
Will be here. The difference will be here. When I say success, it's I work for that.
And I think nobody in this game has this brain that adapts with his age.
Talent is not enough. Just I dedicate myself so much that this is part of me. Record is part of me.
60%, 70% of my life is the base of football. I dedicate myself not just to training, but to prepare myself. Sometimes you plan one thing for your life, and as I've told many times, the life is dynamic, and you never know what's going to happen. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to give advice. I prefer to be as a step, because I'm an example.
I don't follow the record. The records follow me. It's part of my sacrifice, my obsession to win, have success. You
currently have 145 reps where you've been most versatile only something.
Nobody is perfect. Right? Still in the process to learn. But the most of the time, 90% of my successful, if you say to maintain my fitness, my body, you know, it's good, training well. I'm there every morning. I do the same stuff. Probably the first one to arrive and the last one to go out. I think the details speak for itself.
Out of this world!
You're a team player in the sense you love to win big team competitions, but you also love individual awards. They matter to you.
Oh my goodness, what a hit that is. Irrepressible, irresistible.
That's the thing that really drives you.
Yes, I think so. I think it's good. It motivates me. If something not motivated, it's better, to stop. The records come in a natural way. It's different. But when you are close, you say, why not?
Never back down when your back's against the wall. It matters how many times you get back up, not how many times you fall. It's about your mentality. What's the point of dreaming a dream if you're not working to turn that dream into reality? So speak life into your life. Say, I am purpose, I am healed, I am free, I am me, I am my next level, I am greatness. Speak life into your life. Be your own motivation. You see, a legend is just an ordinary person with extraordinary determination. So find a way and make one. Because at the end, you just regret the chances you didn't take. So find the courage to take one. Your only limit is you.
Don't underestimate yourself. You do what you can do, and God will do what you can't do. Take the initiative. Learn something new. Throw your net on the other side. Be ambitious. Reach, ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong.
You cannot change your life unless you change something. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
Make good choices, great things happen. You see, every choice that I can make, listen, I can't control what you think about me. I can't control your opinion of me. I can't control what you say about me. But I control how I react, respond, and what I do with my life. I'm in control of my life. I don't let external factors control me. I'm in control of my life.
Don't ever be ashamed of anything you've done in your life. Face it, fix it, make it better. Build belief, build confidence to the point where nothing can hurt you because you know exactly who you are. You've faced your demons in your mind. You were able to hear all your past traumas. You were able to listen to them. You're able to say, okay, now I can talk to people about what I went through. I'm no longer embarrassed. I'm no longer ashamed. Being ashamed is one of the biggest things that people nowadays in their
The greatest ability that God has given humankind above the animals is the ability to choose. A dog can't be anything but a dog. A cat can't be anything but a cat. A human being has the power to choose. We can choose. Now I'm asking you, what do you see in the future for you? What brought you here today? What caused you to get up? What is it that you're looking for?
You get to choose as much as you want. You get to design it any way you choose. You're not sentenced to your future. You have an opportunity to your future. How do you want it? And if it doesn't make you a little afraid, then you ain't playing big enough.
It's time to get real. It's time to get raw. It's time to look ourselves in the mirror and come to the resolve that this version of ourselves is not going to carry us in the stretch. I've been this version of myself long enough that if I don't change, if I don't do something about this,
then I'm going to find myself bankrupt.
For me to understand, for me to be better, for me to be stronger, I must learn to suffer a little bit. I must learn to struggle a little bit. I cannot reap the rewards of success without understanding about struggles.
Success is not automatic. You don't get things just because you want them. You achieve your goals only when you are disciplined enough to keep showing up when you don't feel like it.
You're going to put the blood, you're going to put the sweat, you're going to put the tears in, you're going to lose sleep, you're going to go days without eating, you're going to do whatever it takes to make the sacrifices necessary to manifest. There are too many people in your life who have left you. There are too many people in your life who have counted you out. There are too many people in your life who have whispered in your ear and said you'll be worse off without them. Prove them wrong.
Insanity and greatness are next door neighbors, and they borrow each other's sugar.
We're going to all experience some hard knocks in life. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to fall flat on your face. You're going to be criticized when you come out into the arena called life. You're going to feel awkward and stupid and dumb sometimes. Life will test you like that. How bad do you really want it? How bad you want it? I'm going to take your car. You're going to have creditors calling you every day. How focused can you be? You're going to lose all of the materialistic things you have. How positive can you be now? You're going to lose your job, and people who you thought will help you won't be there for you. Where is your feeling of being empowered, having the capacity to create? Now, it's going to happen to you. And I say that what's necessary is that you stand courageously, daring, that you become bold. In spite of this, I'm not giving up on my dream.
Why bother? Why try? I mean, what difference does it make in the end? Maybe these are some of the voices that you've heard going on inside of your head. Maybe it's something you've told yourself out loud. So why try? What does it matter in the end? It matters because you woke up today, and so many people did. You woke up today and took a breath. You saw light coming through the window, and so many people didn't.
My eyes peeled in for moving forward. I'm ashamed of myself. We are humans. But then again, if you always think that we're humans, you will always just be a human and always make the same mistakes. Go through the archives, dig it up, study it, and then use it for yourself.
It's how you gained mastery. See, feeling confident is because that's what you feel after you've done it over and over and over again. But true confidence begins the moment you're willing to try.
I want the guy who struggled. I want the guy that failed and could still get back up again. Your problem is your pain has identified you. Your pain has weakened you. And some of you, as long as it's a perfect day, you operate in excellence. As soon as the circumstances change, you quit, you give up. So what makes E.T. different than everybody else? Every year I just kept going. And I kept going. And I kept going. And I kept saying one day's gonna be my day. But you know what I'm not gonna do? I'm not gonna quit in the process. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give in.
When you invest in something and you hustle and you work for something, you got a different type of attachment to it. You're going to have a cold day in hell for somebody to try to take this from you. We live by this, we die by this. We don't surrender, we don't retreat.
I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
And you're going to fail, 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 and then you're going to win. And that's life. Life without those challenges, it's just existence. Don't just exist. Go live. Eventually, inaction will cost you. But your default setting should be, I'm going to do something. Just get up, move towards that challenge, and go attack it. Go do something that's hard.
Struggle sucks.
Depends on how you frame it. If you want freedom in your life, you have to have discipline. Move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is. And you may be successful, and you may not be successful, but you will be better. And the next challenge, you're going to be more prepared for. Because we're going to have wins, we're going to have losses. We're going to have successes, we're going to have failures. We're going to have good nights, we're going to have bad nights. We're going to have good relationships, we're going to have bad relationships. We're going to have good ideas and bad ideas. We're going to make money, we're going to lose money. All these things are going to happen. And if you oscillate emotionally up and down drastically, it's going to be problematic. Embrace those emotions, but don't let those emotions embrace you. Keep pushing through things that suck. This is a very difficult thing to do because it hurts. I'm going to go forward. I'm not going to quit, so I'm going to go forward. Bring it on.
The underdog is a person that comes out on the playing field and says, okay, I've been in this place of pain my whole life. I've gone without for so long. This is the day you make up in your mind where I will take the throne. I'm talking to that person that is acquainted with pain. I'm talking to that person that knows what it's like to come from nothing. And so you literally have nothing to lose. And the only thing that's in your hand is a dream. The only thing that's in your head is I have what it takes to get to the top of that hill. Because I am not the wolf on the hill. I am the wolf climbing the hill. I have nothing to lose.
Counted out, overlooked, undervalued, misguided, betrayed. Somebody who has been really dishonored, disrespected. Somebody who has lost everything, who people stop believing in. It's a very desperate person. They're climbing a hill. They're trying to achieve a dream. And when you are desperate, you are very dangerous. And a dangerous man or woman is somebody who is a disruptor. They don't play by the rules. They are coming for blood. They are coming for blood.
Your story is not your fortress. Your story is your fuel. When you doubt the underdog, it's like music to his ears. Tell me I'm not good enough. Tell me I'm not strong enough. Tell me I won't finish. There is this intrinsic emotion, this instinct. You have just awakened the lion in me because they said you can't do it. They said you don't have what it takes to make the investments. They said you don't have what it takes to lose the weight. They say you don't have what it takes to hang on to your marriage. Everybody has been counted out. Everybody has been doubted. The underdog is not a person who doesn't feel pain, doubt, and fear. The underdog is a person that turns that pain, that doubt, that fear into their fuel. If you came from a place where you had nothing, that's everything that you need.
So don't sit back and be on the defense and allow life to happen to you. Don't do that. Instead, go on the offense. Go on the attack. Become the aggressor. Be the one that life is afraid to mess with.
And remember that everybody won't make it to your next level because everybody won't be willing to sacrifice what it takes to create greatness. This is your journey. Struggle is a part of it. Losses are a part of it. Setbacks are a part of it. Sometimes you have to go through your worst just to become your best. Sometimes you have to lose everything just to gain everything. Don't let it discourage you. Let it encourage you.
Fail your way to success. Fail your way forward. Failure is only when you stop trying. Failure is just another step in the staircase to go higher.
You will never grow without growing pains. The valley might be ugly, but I promise you, the peak is beautiful and it will all be worth it. So don't ever stop climbing, because the only way it works is if you work. The only way you progress is if you proceed. So you rise above anything or anyone that's in your way that's trying to prevent you from being great. You know how you get confidence? By attacking your fear, attacking those hard things you know you gotta face and overcoming them. There's a big misconception out there that people who are successful are not afraid, which is not true. People who are successful are oftentimes the most afraid. They're afraid of failure, so they do everything they can to escape it. So they're gonna run the hardest, they're gonna run the fast, and they're gonna be the ones who are gonna take every single action that they have to take to make sure they get where they need to be. So I don't want you to wait any longer. Don't worry about the how or what if. Make a list, put your back up against the wall, and execute on that damn list. Do that every single day, and you will be where you want to be. I guarantee it.
See, we got to look our trauma in the face. We got to embrace the pain and the darkness and allow it to mold us. The dark times are when we build higher, dream harder, push further, love deeper.
It's forming your future. It's pushing you forward. What will your response be? Are you going to sit back or are you going to step up?
That is a moment of choice. That is a moment of decision.
Adversity creates the perfect moment for audacity. It's in your adversity. The thing that comes out of you is what defines you. When life is squeezing you and pressure is on you, what's really inside of you?
When you go through a storm, it strengthens you. When you come through that kind of experience and able to reclaim your life, you come back with a certain kind of power, and you'll never be the same again after that experience. There's certain things, when you go through those things and you come up out of those things, you come up a different kind of person, different spirit, different power, different energy. Don't ever say when you're going through some rough time, I'm going through a really bad, tragic time. No. See, I'm going through a character building experience.
Take full responsibility for your life. Accept where you are and the responsibility that you're going to take yourself where you want to go. We have two primary choices in life. We can either accept conditions as they exist, or we can take the responsibility to change them.
That setback is going to become a comeback.
Go through the darkness, come out on the other side something new, and allow that person to change the world.
Fear is looking too far ahead. Focus on the next step and not the staircase, the next obstacle. Look at the amount of obstacles as opportunities to succeed, not to fail. There is no such thing as failure. There is only exhaustion. Not showing up is failing. Don't be afraid of the finish line, and welcome the starting block, and you will overcome the fear and uncertainty one step at a time. Fear is ultimately vulnerability, the unknown. Identify them. Identify your fears. Begin to plan on how you can conquer and identify them while you're on the run. Fear is vulnerability, but vulnerability is ultimately how willing you are to take a risk. What makes vulnerability less fearful is when you see the opportunity for success and not for failure. Our ego is what creates fear. Accepting that there is always more to learn will lessen your anxiety and nervousness. Fear is change, but change is unavoidable. Life will forever continue to test you, constantly testing you, asking you to bend, but we do not break. We become malleable, we are plastic, forever capable of reformulating our perspective, and in turn becoming the only author of our narrative. We can view that the fear is a task or a chore, something we're not prepared for, maybe even a punishment, something uncomfortable, and we face it with friction. The change and the fear will come in time, but most likely we'll be left with a bit of resentment towards that fear. Or we can accept the fear as a gift, an opportunity to put our humanity to the test, a chance to flex a new muscle within. Like an ocean wave, we are resilient, strong, capable of rolling with the tide, rising and falling, and flowing out as our universe sees fit. Trust yourself. Trust the process of overcoming fear. Trust your ability to overcome and adapt. I promise you, you are capable. Now is the time to become your own biggest advocate, not another obstacle, not something in your own way. Do not fear the work that comes with facing your fear. Welcome it and watch what masterpiece awaits in your own reflection. Fear forces evolution. Fear is good. Fear are instincts. Fear is the radar that tells you what you need to do, how to exist, and what's going to keep you alive. Fear can keep you in your comfort zone. It's safe there. You know what to expect, but nothing grows there. Life happens outside the comfort zone. So welcome the fear. Dropping our ego is the most effective way to overcome fear and to cultivate personal well-being, have a balanced self-esteem, and be more productive and enjoy a full life. Our ego is very noisy. It imposes itself too much and often drives us to engage in futile discussions and the only goal of winning. Sometimes it's not winning that matters. It's just waking up, showing up, and trying. Having a fear-based attitude takes away mental balance and inner peace. Something Albert Einstein sensed when he said, "The more you know, the less your ego is. The less you know, the greater your ego." The same goes for our fear. The more we know we are capable of, the less fear exists. The less we know of our capabilities, the more fear exists. So it is up to us to challenge ourselves and rid ourselves of this fear and gain knowledge in doing so. Fear can cause us to play it safe, but playing it safe will never be fulfilling. Start with small risks. Sometimes it's as small as asking a coworker for help with a project or trying a new class at your gym. The smaller risks build confidence and make room for larger ones. Once you're ready to challenge yourself and face something large, the more confidence you will build and the less fear will exist. Here's what real fear should be. Living a life where you spend most of your days in the comfort zone, playing it safe and not challenging yourself to level up. Fear is normal, and we all have it, but it's not doing the job it was meant to. Fear kept us alive for thousands of years to make sure that we never wandered too far or dared too big. Those days are over now. I believe that fear exists now in our present life so that we can challenge ourselves in other ways that our ancestors didn't have to. Thousands of years ago, it was just staying alive, finding food, finding shelter, but we have those things now. The creature comforts are here every day. So it's up to us to find new ways of challenging our brains and our bodies to become our best selves. Physicality is something that we are constantly afraid of. We're afraid of failing. We're afraid of not measuring up. So it's up to us to reset our expectations in order for our fears to make us better and not make us feel less than. Life is different now. That fear that kept you safe is now keeping you paralyzed. In 2021, fear is just in your mind trying to keep you safe. Ray Lewis said, "Before anything really great is achieved, your comfort zone must be disturbed."
All right, here's the deal. We got to burn Plan B. Burn the f***ing boats. You've heard a lot about Plan B. It's good to have one just in case Plan A doesn't work. Let me tell you something. I've never met an extremely successful person who didn't commit themselves fully to Plan A. There was no Plan B. It was never an option. You think Elon Musk had a Plan B when he started Tesla? Steve Jobs when he started Apple? When Napoleon's army entered a new battle, he had his troops purposely burn their own ships. Why the fuck did he do that? He told them if they were going to return home, it would be on the enemy ships. Retreating was not an option. It's win or die. It's like the famous ancient Spartan saying, with your shields or on it. You're either coming home from battle on your shield and dead, or you got it in your arms and you're alive. There's no plan B. It's Plan A or nothing. When you put yourself into a determined state where it has to work, you're going to break through every obstacle in your way. And that's what success is about. It's about overcoming every obstacle in your path. Never, ever retreating. Look, you probably don't even realize this, but the idea, just the idea of a Plan B, holds you back from achieving success. Knowing there is a safety net, there's an option, a ripcord you can pull, it's holding you back. You can't have one foot on the gas and the other foot on the brake, because you'll never get anywhere. So burn Plan B. Burn both. By February 1st, 80% of people quit their New Year's resolutions. That doesn't have to be you. You want a different life, but you live with bad habits. Here's the deal. Everyone wants to eat, but no one wants to hunt. Whatever your goals, you have to remain consistent. But your excuse is you want perfection. Perfection is not the goal. Perfection is the enemy of progress. What you want is to be consistent. Consistency builds momentum, and in life, momentum wins. Momentum compounds. With momentum, you feel like you're on top of the world. But this requires you doing something every single day, even when you don't want to, even when it's not perfect. Look, Bruce Lee said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once. I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." So how do you build momentum? How do you stay consistent? You have to convince yourself that your day will be worse, that you will feel worse if you don't do what you said you would. If your goal is to work out every day, you got to convince yourself every day your day will be worse if you don't do that workout. Remember, the only bad workout is the one you don't do. If your goal is to make 100 sales calls a day, then you have to convince yourself your day will be worse without making those calls. The pain of not completing your objective needs to be stronger than the pleasure of accomplishing it. Don't get me wrong. We all have our days. Days when we're not feeling it. Days when we don't care. Days when we want to give up. But those days separate you from everybody else. Those days require you to dig deep and live up to your word. Those days demand you to be consistent, to gain momentum, and that's how you win.
Whatever it is that you want in life, you've got to work for it. And if you put in the work, the thing that you wanted will automatically appear. Because work manifests results. The results that you have are a direct correlation between the work you put in. If you don't like the results, then clock back in. There's more time on the clock. There's still things to be had.
Who are you when the lights turn off? When the cameras stop recording, when the music fades, or when all the fans have gone home? Who are you when no one is around to tell you what to do or what not to do? Who remains? My character is what remains when I am left with no one else but the man looking back at me in the mirror. Every day presents an opportunity to practice your character, to practice integrity.
And I think most people want to believe that there's all of these secrets to winning, because as long as it's secretive and they don't do it, then they've got an excuse as to why they haven't won. But what if the truth is, there really aren't any secrets? There just really aren't. That we all sort of really know what we need to do to win. But what it comes down to, that little thing, that separator that's too scary to talk about, is our willingness to do those things and the consistency with which we do them.
Our emotional fitness is what allows us to push through when life gets hard. The emotional fitness in us is the thing that continues to drive us forward when something else is trying to push us back. My emotional fitness is the thing that if I focus on and get in the right place, it will pull me through the opportunities that are created throughout your life. So when that stuff happens, and it's going to because the enemy gets a vote, when those things happen to me, if my emotional fitness is where it needs to be, then I pull through and I'm better on the other side because of it.
Complaining about what you don't have, don't allow yourself to say, I'm tired. You're going to be tired anyway. So you might as well give yourself a sense of satisfaction. And satisfaction only comes when you put in the work. You cannot celebrate the championship you never fought for. You have to put in the fight.
You've really got to be obsessed with what you want to accomplish. And so if I could get you to understand, that's going to be the ride of your life, but you have to get obsessed. And the only reason that obsession is fun is because you actually know you're going to make progress.
But as some great men and women have said before me, character and integrity is not something you inherit. These are things you practice. These are muscles that can be trained, disciplines that can and should be followed. See, we are all made for greatness. We all have the makings to achieve incredible success. But straight and narrow be the path to success. And fewer there be that choose to walk it. Why is the path so narrow? Because the temptation to abandon one's character, to be the ideal in the public eye and a puppet when the curtain closes, is ever present.
When you put in the work, you put in the grind, you put in the blood, the sweat, the tears, you can expect that someone else has done the same thing. But the one who outworks the other, the one who will finish around the glory, the one who will put in that time. It's the work that brings about the result. Think, operate, move with purpose and intentionality. Remember that there's a game plan and that this is not about a sprint. It's about the marathon of life.
You can't do something when you feel like it. You can't do things on the days that you feel great. Separator isn't who's more motivated. It's what do you do on the days that you are not motivated, that you are not inspired? Do you have the habits and rituals and disciplines, the guts, the grit, frankly, to step up and do the things that you know you need to do all the time, not some of the time? And when you stack up those all the times, those are the inches that you fight for that separate the greats from the average, the ones that become the best ever, the GOATs in their industry.
Perhaps you even wrote yourself off. But I'm here to tell you, if you still have breath in your lungs, if you put your hand on your chest and feel a thump underneath, that pen you used to write yourself off with still has ink, which means the story is still being written. The story isn't done yet. God has a plan for you. He laid the path for you, but he can't make you walk. He can't make you get out of bed, and he won't hand it to you. You have to be the one to pick up the pen and write. Write the story of your life using the gifts placed within you. That voice quietly calling you, you answer it by using your gifts.
You'll never get what you want out of life. You're never going to accomplish the things that you want unless you are obsessed. Obsession will hurt and it will be unhealthy unless you realize that you can get better. Far better to focus on, did I leave it all out on the field today? Value yourself for how hard you went after something, not for what you accomplished. And then let yourself get obsessed with something.
When you finally get to the destination, you'll be thankful for the work you put in.
A lot of people out there dreaming. They don't put the work behind the dream. That dream has become their fucking master. Ran by a graveyard and I looked out there and I look out there, I'm like, man, I wonder how many of you motherfuckers in there and just are so upset with how you lived your life. Regret how you lived it. And I'm running a 300-pound man thinking, man, don't fucking die like this, bro.
Life isn't fair. It shouldn't be fair. It's a trial ground. It's a testing ground. It's built to make us harder, to test us, to drive us. Mentality is the only thing that gets us through life. We are all underdogs in life. Even the baddest person in the world should think that way. So you should always have I've never arrived mentality. No matter where you come from, the sewer or wherever you think you're from, nothing should be able to hurt you. If you believe that, it starts to become true.
You wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, to better oneself. So that's the only purpose I need. There's always someone out there working harder than you. I'm haunted by that motherfucker. Know that someone out there is willing to forgo personal desires and comforts, forgo sleep, forgo whatever it takes to be better, to be the best. In life, a lot of times, a lot of us have that person out there. There may not be a name or a face to him, but he exists. Who are you on those days you don't want to do things? It's easy to conquer when it's good weather, you got good sleep, you feel great. Those are the easy days to conquer. But who are you on those days when all hell's broke loose? Body's tough, sore, you're depressed, you're miserable. Who are you on those days? Life is the most brutal endurance sport of all time. And that's what you have to love about it. Life continues to attack us. There are no timeouts. Are you out there who are trying to get better, who are looking for more, who on January 1 don't give a... It's just a Sunday to you. It's for you out there who are waking up tired of being a bitch, who are waking up tired of being afraid, who are waking up tired of being a victim. Those of you out there who aren't half-stepping, I appreciate you all. Stay hard. The one mentality that you must have in life is that regardless of what's in front of you, you still must grind. Never be a professional athlete, but still I grind. I fail at most things I do, but still I grind. I don't want to do half the shit I do, but still I grind. And that one day, you see me on a dark alley, running at 1 o'clock in the morning, know one thing. I was grinding. The problem that most of us have is we think that we're all alone. We think that we're the only ones going through all this stuff. Your vision becomes very narrowed. And I was able to look down at the world, and all of us are jacked up. Some of us hide it better than others, but we're all jacked up. And once you realize that, you gotta come out of your shell. You gotta accept who you are. You gotta accept the demons that life gave you. You gotta be able to look them in the mirror, look them in the eye, and say, okay, I'm gonna start fixing these things. But if you think that you're by yourself, the reality of your life becomes very, very vulnerable. And you're not. We are all jacked up. And once you realize that, man, you don't even look at the crowd anymore. You look at your own race, you do your own race, you do your own thing, and you finally find out who you're supposed to be in this life. So many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch, refuse to study a few more hours, refuse to go deeper, to go further. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Biggest advice is shut off your phones, shut off all technology, find a dark, quiet place for you to think. You have to think first. And then when you think, you have to think, okay, what's my purpose in life? From your purpose, now you found, okay, I found my purpose. What are my goals now? Okay, you find your goals. Now you got to sit down and plan. Plan, how am I going to accomplish these goals? Then from there, the hardest part is you have to put the action in. And that's where everybody fails. You're missing the story, man. Am I happy? What the do you think? Don't misunderstand the passion in which I speak for not being intensely happy. Happiest person in the world. But I'm not done. So I'm not going to speak to you like, oh man, everything is great. No, I have a lot more to do. A lot more to do. Become a better person. How you gain mental toughness, how you become the person you want to be, is constantly facing the things that you don't want to face. If you constantly run away from things that you don't want to face, how is there growth? I'm always sharpening my sword. How I sharpen my sword is I have a mentality of my refrigerator is never full. I've never arrived, and every time I get close to the top of a mountain, I fall back down on purpose. I believe that true growth is at scratch. There has to be friction in your life for you to be able to move forward. Life is short. Life is precious. Spend that time with the people you love, the people you want to give that time to. Real friends, real family. Everybody else, they're sucking up the air you breathe. A lot of you are trying to find inspiration and motivation with a depressed mindset. Put challenges in front of yourself. When you put a challenge in front of yourself and you attack it, that's when you find inspiration. Stay hard. Stop. Stop judging yourself against other people who have hidden it better than you.
That's all they've done. They've mastered it better than you have, and now they're flipping it back on you and saying you're f***ed up. Life is one big head game. And once you learn to play the motherfucking head game, it's no longer a game anymore at all. You start living your life.
I would say that not only do you want to stop being scared and do that thing that you don't know if you can do or not, but you know what you got to do is you got to start taking the steps now. Because when you're 18 years old, your life seems like it's going to last forever. And I will tell you right now, it's not going to last forever. And those years go by like a summer's day. And the next thing you know, you look up and you're 36 years old, or you're 44 years old. And that time's gone. You cannot get it back. You cannot get time back.
Nothing is going to change if you don't make this change. So how would your life be different if you start choosing the right things? How would your life grow if you let go of the wrong things in your life? So I want to challenge you right now. How would today be different for you? Because let's be real. A lot of us every single day, we choose the wrong things. We choose the wrong people. We choose people's opinions instead of our peace. Life ain't fair to nobody. You just gotta fight through, man. You gotta fight back sometimes.
So those dreams that you have, those goals that you have, don't put them off another second. Not 1 second. Get on them and go out and make them happen starting right now.
We have to always remember, our purpose will always be there, but the purpose is myself. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. On those bad days, when you think that you're alone, you just might be. Because you know why? No one else wants to f***ing do it. Should you be the motherfucker that always gets it done? Stay hard. I just want to ask you this question. How would your life be different right now, today in this moment, if you start giving yourself some of those same things that you give everybody else? If you start giving yourself those same compliments that you give everybody else? If you start giving yourself that same grace that you always give everybody else? What if you decide to redirect your energy towards you for once?
Your fuel can never be the pain of what happened in your past. Because if you focus on the pain, when the pain is alleviated, so are all your greatness. You see, your greatness is not based upon the fact that you don't want to hurt again. Your greatness comes out of the fact that you're finally getting to live. You had to go through that in order to make you. And now that you are a made man, a made woman, you have credibility and validity, and you don't need anyone to authenticate you because you are already phenomenal.
So when I created this mantra for myself that average is the enemy, that success is my responsibility, and that change can take place in an instant when we, I, you and me decide to flip the switch, I'm constantly reminding myself every single morning that I have control. Like the opposition wants us to stay average. Our neighbors want us to stay average. Hell, your family wants you to stay average. Because when you change, Your family fears that change. They don't like the 2.0 version of you. They don't like the evolved version of you. They don't like the version of you that all of a sudden is having higher standards in life and setting higher expectations. They are unfamiliar with that person, and that is scary to them. And so, yes, average is the enemy. And you must fight the momentum of average to break through to extraordinary.
The emptiness in your life isn't because you don't have enough rights. You have all the rights there are. You can get whatever you want whenever you want it. And if that's still not working, well, what are you missing? Well, maybe you're missing the opposite of that. A little bit of restraint, a little bit of sacrifice, some responsibility.
When that alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says no. You just say, this is what we do. It's what we do now.
When you're complaining, you know what you're doing? You're focusing on everything that's wrong in your life. What you focus on, you move towards.
When you gonna start realizing that, embodying that? When you gonna realize that you are the hero that you've been searching for? It ain't me, it ain't them, it ain't that, it is you. The hero that you're searching for in your story, you have already found. You see that person in the mirror every single day. But when you start choosing joy, when you start choosing peace, when you start choosing you, when you start choosing your worth, you start to understand that you are that hero. And now is the moment right now for you to walk into that. And I need you to walk into that because people that you don't even know need you to walk into that. They need you. But you gotta start choosing your worth.
People who go after that stuff, what makes it worth it? It's got to be your passion. You got to love it. It's got to be what you are supposed to do.
There's so many times in life you don't want to be doing what you're doing. You can't just quit. Remember this. This isn't a hobby. This isn't a fucking joke. It's a fucking lifestyle. So what you say to yourself is important. There's no fucking coach. There's no trainer to keep you going. It's only you.
Every poor decision you've made in your life, there was more emotion that was involved in it than there was mine.
Quit using the word luck, quit believing in luck, and start believing in work. Start believing in results that come from your actions. We come into this world alone. We die alone. What we do between those times is success or failure.
You gotta want the best of your life. Only have hope. Belief is what excels and pushes people through the stratosphere. What I tell people is the way you get to the next level of your life is keep going. Keep going, keep running. Even when you don't even know, even when you get turned into chaos. You cannot be great if you cannot operate in chaos. That's my point. Because if you can operate in chaos, the world becomes Disneyland.